This is one of the biggest FUD points I have been pushing back on for a very long time now, and in this video, I want to break down exactly why this idea is completely wrong. In this video, I want to share with you a brand new announcement that literally proves banks are using XRP, but more importantly, I want to talk about why more and more banks are absolutely going to have to adopt it. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, as I stated in the intro, one of the biggest FUD points the XRP community has faced for a very long time now is that big banks will not use XRP. Now, there has been a lot of iterations of this statement, but it always turns out to be wrong. The first time we really heard about banks not using XRP was when Ripple launched their ODL product. And the main reason that FUD was coming around was because Ripple did not force banks to use ODL. Instead, Ripple had a messaging part of their software in which banks could just do normal Swift activities, which was just messaging. There was no settlement. But if banks wanted to cause settlement to happen instantaneously for cheap prices, they could use their ODL product using XRP. Now, this took the payment cycle from about 3 to 5 days and high fees to being instantaneous with low fees. So it seems like a no-brainer, right? But a lot of banks still had regulatory concerns. They didn't want to be interacting with a cryptocurrency. So despite the fact that the ODL product was exponentially better than the other products Ripple was offering, a lot of banks just couldn't make the jump to something using a cryptocurrency. Now, a lot of people said, this right here, because Ripple is not forcing these banks to use XRP via their ODL product, this right here is proof that banks will never use XRP. That was the FUD going around in the market. But those people who understood how these institutions operate in a very conservative manner knew that Ripple was absolutely making the right decision here. Give the banks what they're able to use now, so later down the road, when they want to use more advanced products, when there's regulations to actually be using these cryptocurrencies, they can adopt these new products without fear of retaliation by regulators. Now, in my opinion, this was a genius move by Ripple, because despite the FUD that it created, it allowed Ripple to work closely with a lot of these institutions and better understand their needs so that they could build better products for these institutions later down the road using XRP. Now, despite that, we still have so much drama around institutions not using XRP. But what we see is time after time that FUD continues to be wrong. We now see Ripple working with countries all over the world to develop CBDCs. And a lot of people are saying these are on private ledgers. They're not going to touch the public XRP ledger. I would argue in the same exact way Ripple started off working with institutions via their messaging platform and then later converted them to ODL, I would argue the same is probably going to be true for a lot of products Ripple is rolling out. So I think we'll see the same exact thing with a lot of these CBDC initiatives. Ripple is going to start on private permissioned ledgers. But as these products advance and need public liquidity, need to be able to interact with different systems, the XRP ledger is going to be that thing that links these private permissioned environments to the rest of the world. Now, with all that said, I want to move in and get into some news we got earlier today because I think it all but confirms this is exactly what we're seeing behind the scenes. Earlier today, we actually got a press announcement from the National Bank of Qatar in which they highlighted using Ripple's technology for their cross-border payment solution. Now, right here, we essentially have an extremely large bank in the Middle East coming out and saying that Ripple is transformational to their cross-border payments product. Now, this is so important to understand because this literally proves not only are banks using Ripple and XRP, but this product is actually exponentially better than anything they have been using before in the past. They literally call it an award-winning product. This is because what XRP is doing is completely different than anything any financial technology has been capable of doing before in the past. And that's why this is so significant to the future financial system. And that's why I believe it is going to be a no-brainer for more and more institutions to adopt later down the road. I think a lot of people forget when we're in the weeds of this technology that the current financial system is extremely archaic. It is extremely outdated. And there's not technologies in place right now in order to upgrade this system. What I want to share with you now is something extremely interesting. Not only is it Brad making this point in an interview, but something much more. It's someone commenting on this video that they used to work for Swift and they understand the current infrastructure that these large institutions are using right now. And I want to highlight why this is so critical in XRP's importance in this entire equation. Because I think when you forget how archaic, how outdated, how slow the current system is, you forget about how powerful and how important XRP is to this entire transformation. I want to start off and show you the interview of Brad Garlinghouse, and then get into the comment and really discuss why all this is so important. Listen up to this.
This is why the financial system needs cryptocurrencies like XRP.
First, I'm going to say, I imagine a number of people in here have a PayPal account and you probably have a Venmo account. You ever tried to move money from Venmo? PayPal owns Venmo, just to be clear. You ever tried to move money from Venmo to PayPal? You can't do it. You have to go Venmo back to your bank and then back to PayPal. The reason why I start with that answer is, in a perfect world, what we see an interoperable payments network world of the future, where all payment networks are interoperable. The world we live in today, and I'm using PayPal and Venmo as the example, is highly not interoperable. What you're talking about, the U.S. Fed and the faster payments, that's a domestic clearing. We actually think, yes, that would be fabulous. Actually, Ripple was one of the kind of leads on that task force. At some point, though, you have to go from the U.S. dollar to another currency.
There's Brad Garlinghouse talking about how not interoperable the current financial infrastructure is. And despite the fact that we are getting faster and faster real-time payment systems domestically, it still doesn't solve the problem that these real-time payment systems domestically are completely interoperable with other payment systems all over the world. And I wanted to share this comment with you actually under this post because I thought it was very interesting. Pitch Black Mirror said, I used to work for a fintech trying to make Swift work like blockchain to provide real-time payments. My CEO is on the Fed's faster payment task force. We couldn't do it. We had to pre-fund accounts to stimulate it. And the reason why I think this is so important is because this is something that the large institutions have been trying to solve for a very long time. Guys, it's no secret that blockchain technology is exponentially better than anything else in the financial system today to players like Swift. You think Swift is just waking up to the fact that it takes 3 to 5 days to move their money around and that's probably pretty slow? No, of course not. Swift went out of their way to reinvent Swift to GPI. The problem is that didn't really solve any problems. They couldn't do it because the underlying infrastructure for how they're moving the money fundamentally does not work efficiently enough to compete with blockchain technology. And the bottom layer of Ripple's protocols is blockchain technology. It's the XRP ledger. And this adds efficiencies to moving value that are not possible in the traditional financial system. And because of this, I think it is going to be absolutely necessary for all financial institutions to ultimately upgrade their infrastructure to something similar or using something like the XRP ledger. And that's because we are going to enter into a world once institutions really start adopting this. And that's why I brought up the Qatar example earlier in this video, because we are seeing institutions adopt this now. But there's going to reach a critical point in which you are just going to be left in the dust if you're not adopting this stuff. And there's not a lot of other solutions out there in order to make money move instantaneously. What I want you guys to understand is that's just not going to happen with outdated legacy products in the system today. Those are always going to be outdated because the underlying rails are really maxed out in their capacity to get any better. What they need is new rails. What they need is a new way of moving value. And right now, I have not seen too many people actually make any progress on updating these rails outside of blockchain solutions. Because of this, I think it is absolutely a no-brainer that blockchain technology is going to be fundamentally critical in upgrading the current financial infrastructure. And I believe if you are an investor, the only decision you need to make after that is which one of these protocols, which one of these companies are going to be instrumental in making this transformation happen. In my eyes, you don't have to look too far to find Ripple and XRP. There's a lot of the cryptocurrency sector that is just not focused on working with financial institutions. That's perfectly fine, but that's not what we're talking about in this video. We are talking about the big players in the financial system. When you take a look at the cryptocurrency players actually working with financial institutions to solve the problems we were talking about in this video, there's not many out there. And the ones that are out there, it is clear many of them are far behind what Ripple and XRP are doing. The other day, Ripple actually won an award for having the best cross-border payment product. We have seen this time after time. Ripple has been working with the Federal Reserve and meeting with the Federal Reserve since 2013. They've also been meeting with large banks in other countries. We talked about Qatar. They've been meeting with large banks in Japan. They've been meeting with the ECB. They're on the Digital Pound Foundation. The list goes on and on. Ripple has the expertise. They know the right people in the right places to make this transformation happen. On top of that, they have a top 10 blockchain in the XRP ledger that is fast and efficient and capable of handling the institutional adoption. On top of that, they're adding amendments that actually allow these institutions to come in and use these blockchain technologies compliantly. Things like clawbacks, things like DID, things like automated market makers specifically for institutions. All of these things are things Ripple is focused on for enterprise institutional adoption. And these are just things that are being ignored by a lot of the rest of the cryptocurrency projects out there. What I want you to understand is that you can wrap your head around the idea that the current infrastructure for the financial system is outdated and it needs to be upgraded with a better technology. You don't need to look very far to understand which players are currently winning that race. I think it's fairly obvious that right now Ripple and XRP are positioned to be key players in this transformation. And I think the closer and closer we get to regulations, the closer and closer Ripple gets to taking almost this entire market by themselves. Yes, there are other players out there, but they're not very close to what Ripple and XRP have done. So long as Ripple can keep expanding and keep building and keep innovating and keep introducing new products that are exponentially better than the products we have today in the current financial system, I think Ripple's lead just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. For now, Mickle out.